Feds just dropped a massive bombshell. They added 3 more charges. Man, let's get straight into this.
I wanted to kind of get into this right here, right? And this is an original document, right? And we're going to pay attention to the counts. So conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and it talks about what happened in January, the exact date being unknown to the grand jury and continuing through on or about January 3rd, right? So that's count 1, conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Then we go on to read more, and they talk about all the stuff that involves it. Then it talks about overt acts in the conspiracy, right? So as we scroll down, as we keep going, there's a count 2. Now, we're all familiar with this one, kidnapping, aiding, and abetting, right? And it goes into details about that. On or about January 10th, in the Dallas Division of the Northern District of Texas, defending Lontrell Williams Jr., Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney White, DeMarcus Glover, Darian McDaniel, Terrence Rogers, Corday Johnson, Kadarius Waters, and Demarion Gibson. So it talks about how they went through wherever they went through, to get whatever they had to go get in their parts in this. But I want y'all to see this. Count 3. This right here just dropped 2 days ago. I don't watch anybody else's channel, respectfully, not in a disrespectful way. So if this popped up anywhere else, shout out to them, but I didn't see it. So count 3, conspiracy to commit extortion by force, violence, and fear. Beginning in or around January of 2026, the exact date being unknown to the grand jury, and continuing through or about January 10th, 2026 in the Dallas Division of Northern District. They talk about everybody that's there. And it says that everybody did knowingly and intentionally combine, conspire, confederate, and agree together to commit the offense of extortion by force, violence, and fear, as those terms are defined in 18 U.S.C. 1951b2 in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1951a. Object of the conspiracy. The object of the conspiracy was to unlawfully obtain RD, MM, and BP with their consent, induced by the wrongful use of actual and threatened force, violence, and fear, property, including a release of contract purporting to release Williams Jr. from his recording contract with RD's music label 1017, as well as jewelry, watches, currency, and other items. Interstate commerce, they talk about basically the driving that it takes to get there. That it takes to get there is insane. My bad, y'all. I've been in the South for a while, man. So the Californian is leaving my damn vocabulary. Governor of production and distribution of musical works in interstate and foreign commerce. The jewelry, watches, and currency taken from RD, MM, and BP have moved in. They were subject of interstate and foreign commerce. The conduct of the defendants as alleged obstructed, delayed, and affected interstate and foreign commerce and the movement of articles and commodities in such commerce.
Whoa, that's that QR code right there, man. Y'all already know what it is. They said no more 5. Nah, double that. Put 10 to win. Thursday swerve day, you hear me? Free cash set, man. They said 10 inches your account the second you install it on your phone and start playing today. Y'all already know what free cash does, right? We don't even got to explain that. Don't be an Adrian Broner out here, man. Don't be hating. Go do your thing. Start playing games and figure out how you can win and spin this Thursday. I'll catch y'all with this content.
Manner and means. It was part of the conspiracy that the defendants, and they talk about everybody, formulated a plan and agreement with, which among other things included the use of the internet to commit or further the commission of the extortion, the use of cellular telephones to plan, commit, and further the commission of the extortion, the use of false pretenses, namely the pretext of a legitimate business meeting and recording sessions to lure RD and his associates to a location selected by the defendants, the procurement of a release to contract intended to be presented to RD under the threat of force. So it's interesting that they added this damn charge in there, because remember, it was only the 2. So as we go on, they talk about how they left Texas and all this stuff and everything, and it talks about the stuff that they took, Rolexes, Louis Vuittons, and wedding rings and all this crap. But listen to this, they added another charge, count 4, extortion by force, violence, and fear, aiding and abetting. And it talks about the same damn day. See, the feds just added 3 new effing charges. Interstate transport of stolen goods. So they're basically saying, because of those pictures that we have, this is what's going to get y'all up out of there. See, I know what the hell is going on, and I'm about to drop a bombshell for y'all because this shit right here, it has to be exposed. Because just reading this, right? On or about January 11th in 2026, in the Dallas Division of the Northern District of Texas, the defendants, DeMarcus Glover, Darren McDaniel, Terrence Rogers, and Demarion Gibson, aiding and abetting each other, transported and caused to be transported interstate commerce from Texas to Tennessee and elsewhere, stolen goods, wares, and merchandise that is jewelry and watches having an aggregate value of $5,000 or more, knowing the same to have been stolen in violation of 18 U.S.C. 2314. Then check this shit out. They're hitting him with a forfeiture notice. Pooh Shiesty, if he is convicted, that shit that he built, that's all gone. So here's the indictment right here fully, right? They're hitting these fools with 18 U.S.C. 1201C, 18 U.S.C. 1201A, and 1 and 2. That's kidnapping, aiding, and abetting. 18 U.S.C. 1951A, 1951B2, 18 U.S.C. 1951A, 1951B2, and 2. Then goes on, 18 U.S.C. 2314 and 2, interstate commerce, stolen goods, aiding and abetting. That's 5 different counts. And then they said, after we done with this shit, we going straight for your pocket, Skitty Mane. We gonna rob you like you robbed Gucci Mane, allegedly.
Right? Meaning it was part of the conspiracy that the defendants, and they're talking about everybody involved, allegedly came together with a plan and agreed on it. That included using the internet to commit or help carry out the extortion, using cell phones to plan and further the extortion, and using false pretenses, specifically pretending it was a legit business meeting and recording session, to lure RD and his associates to a location picked by the defendants. They also mention obtaining a release contract that was supposedly meant to be presented to RD under threats of force. So it's wild they added this charge because remember, at first it was only 2 charges. Then as the paperwork keeps going, they start talking about leaving Texas and everything else. They also mention Rolexes, Louis Vuitton items, wedding rings, and all this other stuff that was allegedly taken. But check this out. They added another count, extortion by force, violence, and fear, aiding and abetting. And it's tied to that exact same day. See, the feds just slapped on 3 new charges. Interstate transport of stolen goods. Basically, they're saying those pictures everybody saw online could end up being what gets these dudes jammed up. See, I already know what's going on, and I'm about to drop a bombshell because this right here needs to be talked about. Just reading this part alone, on or about January 11th, 2026, in the Dallas Division of the Northern District of Texas, the defendants DeMarcus Glover, Darren McDaniel, Terrence Rogers, and Demarion Gibson allegedly aided and abetted each other in transporting stolen jewelry and watches valued at over $5,000 from Texas to Tennessee and elsewhere, knowing the items were stolen, violating 18 U.S.C. 2314. Then it gets crazier. They also hit them with a forfeiture notice, meaning if he gets convicted, everything he built could be gone. So here's the full indictment. They're charging these guys with 18 U.S.C. 1201C, 18 U.S.C. 121, A, 1 and 2, kidnapping, aiding, and abetting. Then 18 U.S.C. 1951A, 1951B2, plus interstate commerce stolen goods under 18 U.S.C. 2314. That's 5 different counts total. And then it's basically like the feds saying, after this, we're coming for your pockets too. Allegedly, of course. Oh man, y'all know what's actually funny though? There's a real possibility, and I'm not saying this is true, false, half true, or anything else, but there's a chance these guys might still be solid. I'm going through this 175-page document because right now the internet is reacting to old information from weeks ago. And lawyers will always say, y'all don't have anything on my client. But your lawyer only speaks for your client, not everybody else involved. That's the reality. Some people haven't even seen certain evidence yet. Some statements were brand new to certain individuals. So the whole strategy becomes proving exactly what each person did. See, if you weren't allegedly one of the main guys involved, it becomes harder to pin everything directly on you. Then it turns into wrong place, wrong time arguments. So each person is going to have to explain their own role in this, which also means people expecting life sentences to get handed out left and right might want to slow down a little. First off, nobody died. Sorry. So for everybody thinking they're about to hand out life sentences like candy at church, nah, that's probably not happening. Maybe Altoids, not Mentos. We don't do Mentos in the hood, you feel me? But here's the even crazier part. The feds know they still don't fully have the evidence they need to convict everybody. That's partly why these extra charges were added. So far, they haven't recovered any firearms. So far, no video evidence either. A lot of what they're claiming still hasn't been fully proven. Right now, it's still more of a narrative being built. And let's keep it real, Pooh Shiesty allegedly isn't broke. That's exactly why they added that forfeiture language. They want the land, the house, the cars, the chains, everything. They want all of it auctioned off so they can recover money. But the funny thing is, the feds are still actively building this case. They're likely going to rely heavily on those pictures and online posts. Right now, a lot of the evidence comes down to stories, plus people going online bragging like, yeah, we got this, we got that. But this is Memphis we're talking about. How do we know whose chain belonged to who? How do we know what was real or exaggerated? I'm just saying, as things stand right now, they don't fully have everything lined up yet. So honestly, it could still look good for some of the people involved because there's still a lot we don't know. What we do know is the feds are trying hard to get somebody to flip. They want one person to volunteer, take the stand, put their hand on the Bible, and say they're telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But will it really be the whole truth? I don't know. Y'all let me know your thoughts on this one. Man, they just dropped 3 new charges on Pooh Shiesty. It's about to be a long day. Click right here though to see how how David could still be facing the death penalty.